Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome. Welcome into the Bills Mafia Time to Shine on the Buffalo Rumblings Multicast Network. My name is Joe Miller, and it's good to have every single one of you with me for this preview prediction edition, live call-in show without a phone, if you will, of the Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Bills versus the Indianapolis Colts game tomorrow in Buffalo, New York. The Buffalo Bills are set to play the Colts tomorrow. As we all know, I'm the host of this show. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. Been gone for a couple of weeks. It's good to be back. I hope you guys missed me. I appreciate Jay Spence the King for holding the fort down 2 weeks ago, and then the inevitable Bruce Nolan, the formidable, the super smart, the wicked, crazy, intelligent, the stats guru, the guy that's just wicked, way smarter than every other human that I know. One Bruce Nolan. Thanks to both those guys for filling in for me as I was traveling with my wife to Mexico for our 20th anniversary trip. It wasn't our anniversary week. Our anniversary is in May. It was just the first time we'd had the opportunity to get together and get away. But it's good to have you guys. People are piling into the room. It's good to see John. It's good to see, hey, Kevin Beers is in the room. Good to see you, Kevin. Welcome. Welcome to everybody. I love this guy is about to come on the show. So Mini Bills Mafia is in the room. Richard Rush is in the room. It's good to have all of y'all up in here with me this evening. And Nautica's back. Nautica, it's been a minute. It's good to see you too. But I'm going to do a little bit of a monologue here, just kind of set the show up. And then I'm going to bring everybody on one at a time. And the way this show works is you follow that link that I'm providing. What's up, Mr. Diggs? You follow the link that I provided, and you get into the green room and hang out there for a couple minutes while I pull you on one at a time. You're going to give me basically a hot take if you got one. We're going to talk about the Bills game a little bit. And then if you've got a Josh Allen stat line, that's great. And if you've got a score prediction, that is great as well. What's up, Amanda Davey? Good to see you too. So here we go. The Buffalo Bills set to play the Indianapolis Colts tomorrow here in Buffalo Orchard Park. It's going to be about 50 degrees, 49, 50 degrees, rain. It feels like to me it has rained every single home game this season. I don't know how it feels to you, but it seems like the weather's just been not great, which for the domers, the people that want a dome, it gives them a reason to chirp a little bit. For those of us that are open air people, I'll be honest with you, I don't know that it slows down the Bills. Is it a situation where, a rain game helps a team that runs the football? It's what they say. It's what they say, but there's been a lot of prolific passers in the NFL throughout history that have never really been slowed down by the rain. So we'll see. I don't take a whole lot of stock in it. It's not going to be crazy windy. It's not going to be downpouring as far as I know all game. It's just going to be more of an annoying rain. So if you're going to the football game, take a poncho, take a towel with you to wipe your seat off, and do your best to stay warm and dry. The Buffalo Bills are 7-point favorites in this game. The under-over is 49.5 points, which to me seems a little bit high just based on the Bills' defense, these offenses together, just kind of what I think I'm going to see tomorrow. I think it's going to be a little bit of a messy game. I think 49.5 might be high. We'll see. It's a tough matchup, though, when you look at this game for both teams, as we get a rematch of the home playoff game last season. And that game was a bit of a tough sled for the Buffalo Bills. I was at that game with Jay Spence the King. The Buffalo Bills started the majority of their drives inside their own 20-yard line. They had horrible field position all day long. And let's be honest, Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, they had a pretty good day. It was a tough go. The Colts made it a hard game for the Buffalo Bills all day long. Sorry about that. My throat's a little bit dry. Tough game, but a win nonetheless that moved the Bills on to the playoff game against the Ravens. The Colts proved to be more of a challenge, in my opinion, this year, and I think you guys would probably all agree. I think Carson Wentz complements that offense a little bit better than Phillip Rivers does. He's a little bit more mobile. His arm is a little bit more live. Clearly, he can make some mistakes, and I've seen a lot of replays of him like putting the ball in his left hand and throwing the ball with his left hand and doing some weird pitches. Basically, moments where he's trying to be Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, and there's an aspect that I'm sure that he comes off the field, and Frank Reich's got to be like, "Look, bro, just play football. Just if you're gonna get sacked, get sacked. Don't cause us any more trouble than we possibly need." But I feel like he complements this team a little bit better than Rivers did last year. Again, he can clearly make some mistakes, but by the numbers this year, he's playing okay. He's not playing super, super bad. I saw a post today. Let me see if I can pull it up, and it's just a comparison between the two. And again, stats don't tell the whole story. I got this off the Bills Army. Taj Fitzgibbons posted this off the Bills Army Facebook page. It's just a Josh Allen and Carson Wentz stat kind of comparison. Total yards, Josh Allen 2,924. Carson Wentz 2,498. Now keep in mind, Carson Wentz has one more game than Josh Allen does. Completion percentage 63% for Josh, 66 rather, 63 for Carson Wentz. Total touchdowns 22 for Josh, 18 for Carson Wentz. Interceptions and fumbles 6 and 5. Carson Wentz 3 and 5. Passer rating 99 and Carson Wentz 97. So they're kind of close. Stats don't always tell the whole story, but they do tell some story or a little bit of the story. But obviously, when you think about this football game, Jonathan Taylor is going to be a problem if we don't contain him. And by that, for me, the number is probably 80 to 85 yards. The Bills need to keep him somewhere below 80 to 85 yards. I know it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but that is kind of the condition for a win for me for the Buffalo Bills. They've done a good job of stopping. If you look at this year and last year, they've done a very good job at stopping elite backs. Except for, obviously, Derrick Henry had that 176-yard run, which there was 3 offensive holding penalties on that one play that didn't get called. If that run gets negated, if you take those 76 yards away, it's a very pedestrian day for Derrick Henry. Even last year, the only game that the Bills really gave up a lot of rushing yards was against Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which that was by design. The Bills purposely allowed him to run in that football game because they wanted to keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hand. Per ESPN, however, Jonathan Taylor has scored at least one touchdown and topped 100 yards from scrimmage in 7 consecutive games this season. It's the NFL's 3rd longest streak and 1 game behind former Colts running back Lydell Mitchell and former Chargers star LaDainian Tomlinson, who, oh, by the way, is, obviously HOF. Bills are going to sell out. In my opinion, they're going to sell out to the run, and they're going to make the Colts one-dimensional, forcing Wentz to beat them. That's going to be a little more challenging when we talk about the injuries. No star in this football game. Potentially no Tremaine Edmonds in this football game. We did get a great effort from A.J. Klein last week. However, it's a situation where this defense is going to have to step up in the middle. I actually posed the question. It was either to John Fina or to Jay Spence the King on Wednesday. I wondered if the Bills would go to a traditional 4-3 versus the nickel 4-2-5 that they've been playing. Or that they traditionally play, just to kind of stack that box a little bit. We'll see. But my guess is they're going to do their best to make the Colts one-dimensional. Frank Reich, though, however, is a great coach. He's a great NFL mind. He did a lot of good things with Carson Wentz when he was in Philadelphia. Obviously, the two of them reuniting is, it's working out. Now, granted, they haven't been world beaters. The Colts started 1-4 this year. They have, however, won 4 of their last 5. They are 0-5 against opponents who made the playoffs last year, which is big. But the Bills are going to put their secondary on an island in this football game. And in my opinion, that's the group that you want to do that with. If you're going to put them on an island, put them on an island coming off a hot game. The Bills have, arguably, we would all agree, one of the best, or if not the best, safety tandem in the NFL. But this is going to be a test for this defense, and it's going to be a test for this offense too, when you think about just how the Bills are going to play or what they've done or what this game could mean. We are familiar with the Bills and how they got to this position, most notably with a loss against the Jaguars and a loss to a Steelers team that doesn't look as bad now as maybe they did the first couple weeks of the season. On offense, the Bills are going to have to convert. They're going to have to convert touchdowns. Field goals are not going to get it in this football game. And what I mean specifically in that is early, much like in the Titans game, every red zone trip, the first 2 for the Bills in that Titans game, they kicked field goals. That it kept the Titans in that game. If the Bills get an early lead in this football game, specifically 2 possessions, 10, 14 points, it changes the way the game is going to be played for the Colts. The Bills have to score touchdowns in the red zone. It's just what they've got to do. Allen is going to have to remain patient, and I would expect to see him run a little bit to pull those linebackers up so that he can get over the top of them. Do I think, or from a run game standpoint, I think we're going to see Breida again in this football game, maybe with an increased workload. It made a difference last week. Speed matters. The defense pays attention to speed, because if they blink and if they misread and blink, then the guys around them really fast. This Colts defense is middle of the pack across the board. It can be exploited. The Colts have a solid young defensive line. They also, much like the Buffalo Bills, went edge 1 and 2. Kwity Paye is very good. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch tomorrow. But the big thing, the story of this football game for me right now is the Bills find themselves way behind in the race for the 1 seed in the AFC. And that's clearly what we were chasing. We wanted the 1 seed from the beginning, from the outset. My prediction was the Bills were going to be 14-3. They've already got 3 losses, which means they're going to have to win out, which doesn't seem probable. And now they're staring basically over their back shoulder with the Patriots breathing down their necks for the AFC East crown. This is an important game. This actually may be a playoff like game in the sense of like this game is going to have playoff implications. The Bills are number 1 in takeaways. Before you get too excited about that, the Colts are number 2 in takeaways. I legit believe this game could come down to 1 play on either side for these teams. Now, those are my notes, just kind of my quick hit notes for this football game. I do have some injury stuff and things like that to talk about if we need to. But go ahead and jump into the green room right now if you want to jump in with me. Nautica says Alan might be running for his life. You might be right. But we're going to go to the first young stud in our green room, which is Mini Bills Mafia. What's up, my guy? You're muted. You got to unmute your microphone there, boss. What's up, dude?
Not much. I'm just kind of nervous.
You don't have to be nervous. We're just gonna have a conversation. You don't have to be nervous. What's your name?
My name is PJ, but if I look down sometimes, I have some notes.
That's perfect. I have notes too. That's the best way to do this, my man. Like you're already crushing it. How you feeling tonight? How you feeling about this football game?
I'm feeling good about it. And I also think that the Bills have a fire lit under them, because the Patriots keep on winning.
Yeah, that's clearly being chased by the Patriots. You would think would give them some more motivation, right?
Yeah, probably.
So you're obviously aware that the Bills have the number 1 defense. The Patriots have the number 2 defense in the NFL, which could pose a problem. But when you think about this football game, this Colts game, what are you going to be watching for, PJ?
Well, I would be watching, since their secondary really isn't that good. I would be looking for some deep passes.
I would agree. And when you think about the targets, did you watch? I'm sure you watched the playoff game last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they had the deep completed ball to Stephon Diggs, and then Gabe Davis did a bunch of toe touching just along the sidelines, which were huge throws for Josh Allen.
And then he had that one-handed catch in the end zone.
Yes, he did. That's right. It was fantastic. What else you got for me as far as you think the Bills are going to throw some stuff over the top? I like that take. What else you got?
Well, you already mentioned this a few minutes ago, but the Bills are number 1 defense in takeaways, and the Colts are number 2. But the Colts have more fumble recoveries and interceptions.
Yeah, it's big. So the Bills are they're going to have to a group, if you will, even including Josh Allen, Singletary, Moss has had his moments, and Breida that have a tendency to fumble a little bit. They're going to have to be very conscious against the team, right? That gets the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what do you have for like a Josh Allen stat line in this game? What do you think he throws for?
20 out of 30.
That's big.
250 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing.
Nice. I like that. That's the one thing for me, PJ, that I feel like the Bills kind of haven't done much this year is run Josh Allen in the red zone. It seems like he's not running as much. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Also, they aren't moving the pocket.
That's true. Look at this guy. BJ needs to have his own show. I'm gonna have to get a hold of the Buffalo Rumblings guys. You can host your own show out here. They are definitely not. They did a little bit of that last week, which was good, and we actually talked about it on the John Fina show, which was cool. So you've got Josh with 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing. Score? What do you think the score of this football game is going to be, PJ?
28-14.
28-14 Bills.
28 Bills, 14 Colts.
So I'm with you, being just kind of like from that under-over standpoint. Anything else for me, PJ, before I let you go? You've done a great job. No need to be nervous at all. This has been fantastic.
Well, I'm worried about one person on the COVID list.
Oh, yeah? Give it to me.
Spencer Brown.
Yeah.
Because with the Jaguars, our offensive line fell apart.
It fell apart, and yeah, it was not good. So what do you think they're going to do? So they re-signed, and this is in my notes. So you're going in a good spot for me. They re-signed Bobby Hart, and obviously Ryan Bates is on this football team that for some reason never comes off the bench before other guys do. Who do you think is going to play right tackle in this football game for Spencer Brown?
I don't really know the right tackles, but I think Cody Ford might.
Well, Cody Ford, if he plays, he's probably going to play right guard. I don't think they're going to throw him out there to the end, but it's going to be between Ryan Bates, Darrell Williams, or Bobby Hart. And I think all of us would prefer not to see Bobby Hart. I don't. Did you pay attention to Bobby Hart in the preseason?
We didn't really watch the preseason.
Yeah.
So I don't really know the right tackles and who's start. I know who's starting, but I don't know the backups.
The backups, yeah. Well, it's going to be one of those three guys. So if I had my not prediction, but if I had my choice, I would prefer to see Darrell Williams stay at right guard to kind of anchor that center, and then I'd probably rather see Ryan Bates. Now we'll see what the Bills do. They clearly don't call me for advice, but we'll see. But anything else for me, PJ?
Yes, I have a joke.
Give it to me, brother.
What do the Colts and Possums have in common?
What is that?
Both played dead at home and both got killed on the road.
Oh, PJ, you're a lot of fun, dude. You can come back anytime. PJ, how old are you?
I'm 9.
And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Barker.
Barker? Is that in New York? Barker, New York?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I've never been to Barker. Do you get to go to any football games? You get to go to any Bills games at all?
I went to one preseason game 2 years ago, but we usually just watch it in my parents' bedroom.
Gotcha. That's cool. I might have to see if I can hook you up with some tickets at some point there, PJ. Get you to a game. So I get tickets given to me often that I can give away. So I'll have to jump in the comments section after you leave here, and I'll give you my email address. You're probably not on Twitter or anything like that, right? You just watch the show live?
Yeah, I don't have Twitter or TikTok or anything.
Gotcha. I'm going to put my email address in the comments section, and I want you to, do you have email?
No, but I think my parents might be able to help me.
All right. Well, you write my email address down. All right. I just put it in the comments section. It came from the Buffalo Rumblings. You write my email address down and you give it to your parents and have them email me, and I'll see if I can get you some tickets to a game.
But I don't see your email.
It's in the comments section. So when you get off and you watch the show, it'll be in the comments section. You just have to scroll up to it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yep.
PJ, you're the man. I'll talk to you soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills, buddy. Well, that was pretty awesome. That's really, really cool. So that was PJ from Barker, New York. And just goes to show you that if PJ can do it, anybody can do it. So that was really cool. But I like his takes. So those were solid. Next guy up in the room is my guy, Erock. What's up, Erock?
How you doing?
Speaking of email, you were supposed to email me and I never got your email. So I don't know, somehow we got to connect, whether it's, are you on Twitter, Erock?
I try to stay off Twitter. I don't have an account, but I'll get your email and I'll email you.
Yeah. Whether it's Facebook or whatever, just find a way to get a hold of me so that we can connect offline. But how you doing tonight?
Good. Last week, Bruce Nolan said that I have to do my impersonation of Isaiah McKenzie.
Okay. Let's see it.
Well, I'm the face of the franchise. You know what I'm saying? When Bees, he helps me out a lot. When we got this game coming up, I got to do whatever I got to do. You know what I'm saying? And, I gotta play my 111, and, we got to do this. And, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. That's super good. How long you been working on that?
I've been working on it for a few weeks. Like over the summer when he was at training camp and I was listening to his press conference, I'm like, I can do this impersonation.
That's fantastic. That's really, really funny. So how you feeling other than that? Things going good?
Yeah. Can't complain.
Yeah. Good. That's always good. So how has this game got you feeling? For me, I've got a confidence issue with this game. I know the Jaguars kind of rope-a-doped all of us. And the Jets were a bounce back game, but I don't know that I believe necessarily in get right games when you're playing a team that's awful. A get right game to me would be this game. If the Bills come out and lay the wood to the Colts, that to me is a get right game. You came out against a good football team or a decent football team and beat them well. I'm just lacking a little bit of confidence. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, like I'm not saying I'm not confident, but I thought this offseason the Bills weren't really trying to create their roster to defeat the Chiefs. I thought the Colts were actually more of a tougher team because they play it heavy on both of the lines. And I thought that was Buffalo was more with an eye to fortify their lines, to
Yep.
face a tough offensive line and a tough defensive line.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be a blowout. They're going to have I don't I don't want to say that they're going to lose a game down this stretch, but it would be foolish to say they probably won't lose a game down this stretch.
Mhm.
I just don't think this is going to be the game, especially with them being home. But I do think it'll be a close game.
I think home helps. I think home definitely helps. I think being outside, yes, the Colts are clearly going to be playing outside in the weather, or not playing, practicing. They would have practiced outside this past week just to kind of get acclimated to being outside. But being in the rain, not being in a protected environment, I think it's going to benefit the Bills a little bit more. This is why the Bills don't have a dome, is like so that dome teams can come here and struggle. Now the problem is Carson Wentz is, mainly in his career played outside, and oh, by the way, he's the quarterback of the Eagles when the Bills played the Eagles 2 years ago in the hurricane and the rain, and it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds, 55-mile-an-hour winds. And Carson didn't have too much of trouble in that game. They put it to the Bills pretty good. But what do you got for a hot take for me?
I think the matchup in this whole game will be Tre'Davious White on Freeman.
Pittman.
Pittman, sorry.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be the matchup that we're going to see. And I feel more even though that I'm not doubting his skills, but I mean we also have one of the top corners in the league too.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be the matchup because aside from him, no one else is really getting any passes. It's basically their running back and their wide receiver. So I think if we shut the wide receiver down or at least keep them down to a minimum, I think we keep the game in wraps.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you got for a Josh Allen stat line for me?
I think he's just going to have I don't think anything's going to stand out. He'll probably have like 300 yards. He'll probably have 3 touchdowns. But I don't think he's going to have a crazy game. I think he's just going to have a good, manageable game.
Do you think this offense has underperformed despite leading the league or being right at the top in points per game?
Well, if we look at it from last year, yes, but this is not the same team. And clearly our offensive line, I think, is what hinders the points that we could be scoring this year. And
it's weird because sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's weird because the offensive line actually has played well in pass protection by and large. In run protection, Fina would tell you a different story than what I'm telling you as far as just what we're talking about right now. But it's been a mixed bag. Can we just say that it's been a mixed bag on that offensive line?
Yeah. I would definitely say that.
It's just a weird situation to be.
And I think we were expected more out of Cody Ford this year, and that obviously didn't pan out. But I still respect him as a human being and as a man. But
yeah, for sure. No, that's the hard part about being a fan, right? Is because we have to have we have to, especially me as a content creator, we have to have real conversations about players, and it doesn't mean that we can, or we're always going to be, what we're going to say is going to be nice, even if it's truthful. We just don't want to be, derogatory or any of those things. But yeah, Cody Ford, I'm sure, is a great human being, but I'm not sure what his future on this football team is when they're bringing back Bobby Hart.
If you saw me, I went like this.
Right. Yeah, I'm not, I don't know what that offensive line is going to look like, but Erock, I appreciate you jumping in on the show with me. You're always welcome to be on the show and find a way to connect with me. So I threw my email in there again. Do what you can to get to connect with me, and we'll connect outside of the show. And
do you want my score? You want my score prediction?
Oh yeah, score predictions. Thank you. I almost forgot.
24-17.
24. So you're 24-17. PJ was 24-14, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yep. And I think Wentz will throw an interception at the end of the game because they have to get 7 to win. So
that's a hot take. That was one of the things I said at the top of the show is I think this game could come down to one play. I think one play could potentially decide this football game. I'd like to see it not be one play. I'd like to see the Bills crush them like they did the Jets, but I'm just not feeling that in this football game. Erock, come back anytime. You're the man, and let's chat it up soon. Appreciate you, dude. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. That's my dude, Erock. It's interesting because that offensive line, I don't know what to expect. And I've got some stuff in my notes. Ryan Bates is a weird situation because Ryan Bates has been on this football team for a very long time as what they call the utility knife. He's the guy that can be plugged in anywhere. The problem is every time somebody goes out of the lineup, Ryan Bates doesn't come in the game ever. If the left tackle goes out, Tommy Doyle. If the center goes out, it's Feliciano. If the guard goes out, it's Cody Ford or Ike Butker. If the right guard the right tackle goes out, it's Bobby Hart. Why doesn't Ryan Bates get in the game? What? I don't understand why is he on the football team if he's not going to play? I expect to see Mr. Diggs, correct me. PJ was 28-14. Thank you. I need to write this stuff down. Tomorrow, I want to see, not expect. I can't expect anything. I want to see from this offensive line, Deion Dawkins, right? I want to see Ike Butker. I want to see Mitch Morse. I want to see Darrell Williams because I want to see the interior of that line kept solid with Deion out there. And I want to see Ryan Bates. I know that there's a concern. Well, Joe, if he gets hurt, then there's no backup center. Well, if he gets hurt, you've still got a center playing. What are the chances of Morse and Bates both getting hurt in the same game? Probably the same as Morse getting hurt, Bates coming in to spell him, and then Bates getting hurt. Isn't that the same exact problem? If Morse gets hurt and then Bates comes in and plays center, then Bates gets hurt, you're in the same boat as if somehow you believe that karma can be so bad to you that Morse gets hurt and Bates gets hurt playing right tackle, or Bates gets hurt playing right tackle, and then Morse gets hurt. I want to see Bates playing right tackle. To me, he's slotted as a tackle, not a guard. Sal Capaccio talked about it at length this week on WGR that he is not a guard. He's a tackle, a center, or a tackle. I want to see Bates play out there on the end. We'll see. I don't think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get Bobby Hart. I think we're going to be all very disappointed. And after the game, we're going to be told some story about how he only had 1.5 bad snaps or something like that. It's going to be crazy. Apex says that Butker can play center too. I did not know that. So that would be good information. But anyways, not only was he horrible for was it Tennessee or the Bengals? Whatever team that picked him up after the Bills cut him only had him on their roster. Oh, no, the Bills put him on their practice squad, and then they picked him off the practice squad and only kept him for like a week. He wasn't there very long. Next dude in the queue, my guy, Richard Rush, all the way from just outside of Zanesville, Ohio. Richard Rush, how are you tonight?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I think you used the word stiff drink.
Yeah. Very stiff.
Yeah. So where's this game got you? How are you feeling?
Like everybody else, I'm pretty nervous about the line. I definitely don't want to see Hart. I mean, we've seen enough of him preseason.
Yeah. What happened? I don't even know where to go from there. Like he was not serviceable at right tackle in the preseason, and he was downright awful at left tackle. So it's I understand the familiar. I was chatting on Twitter with Rob Quinn, who's a content creator for Cover One, and we were just going, and basically Rob Quinn said the right thing. He said he's got familiarity with the offense. He understands the checks. He understands the calls. He's been in the system. He knows what the Bills are going to try to do. And I was like, that's great. I could know all of those things too. I could know the playbook. I could know the checks and calls. That doesn't mean that I'm ready to play right tackle for the Buffalo Bills. And he laughed and he said, you're absolutely right. And that's literally where I feel we're at with Bobby Hart.
Yeah, I do agree with you with Bates, but for some reason they don't like to put Bates in at tackle. He did go in. He did go in when Morris went down, I think for a series or two before they slid Feliciano his first game back last year to center. And he did well.
Right.
But I would rather see Tommy Doyle go out there and get all the snaps at right tackle than Hart.
Yeah, I don't know if Tommy Doyle can play right tackle. And a lot of people are giving Tommy Doyle grief. And to John Fina's point, and I know you were on the show, that wasn't the best situation for Tommy Doyle. They put him in, and I don't know if it was 3rd and 17 or it was 3rd and long. And Josh
3rd and 11.
3rd and 11, and Josh Allen takes like a 10 or 11 yard drop versus an 8-yard drop, which just put Tommy Doyle in a bad spot. So those guys are pinning their ears back already. He's coming in off the bench. It was just kind of a perfect storm. So I don't know that it was fair to determine that he isn't ready, but it makes you question, is Tommy Doyle only a left tackle? Can he not play right tackle? So the good news is we've known, right, for several days. So this isn't a situation where they found out the day before the game, like they did last time with Spencer Brown, where it's like, oh crap, like Spencer can't play. We have to like shuffle the deck. And they've clearly been practicing in some way, shape, or form this entire week, which maybe, being that they brought Hart in late, it was like Thursday, wasn't it? They brought in Hart Thursday or Friday. Maybe that just
Thursday.
Maybe that means it's a situation where he won't be the guy. But Buff Hub says that the Bills need to draft Fina's son. So Bruno's dream, as per John Fina, would be to play for the Buffalo Bills, just so everybody knows. And Bruno is John's son that's currently playing. Well, he's playing for UCLA currently. So I think he's a center, right? Center or guard for UCLA. Big old boy.
I thought he was playing tackle.
I think he's playing center or guard. I think his other son.
I'm not sure.
I think his other son might be playing tackle. But so what do you got for a prediction, hot take in this football game there, Richard?
My biggest prediction is, it's more hopes than predictions. I'm hoping they run a lot of 12 personnel, and I'm hoping Allen takes 3-step drops and gets the ball out until the defense backs off a little bit, because they're going to be up on the line just pinning their ears back to start the game.
What's funny is Allen can play that game.
He can.
But he doesn't.
And he's very good at it.
Yeah. Couple things here. I'm going to the comment section. So Spin, Doyle is not worse than Hart. So Doyle played 1 snap, and go back and watch the Monday show. John Fina kind of broke it down and just talked about how that snap that he played against the Jets was actually more Josh Allen's fault than his, just because of the depth of the drop that he took, which wasn't great. Even in my show, I'll be honest with you, on Sunday night, I told everybody I knee-jerked, and Fina was going to correct me, but I felt like, it was just not a great situation. This one, too, what do you think about this? And I've got a comment. JR asks, do we need to evaluate Bobby Johnson, the O-line coach?
I had asked John about that, wish I could have talked to him live, because the question I was wanting to ask him was, does he think that the O-line coach, how do I want to word it? I don't want to word it bad, because we all like Bobby Johnson, but he has to take some of the responsibility, because one game they play great, and then the next game they just are horrible. I mean, you have both tackles don't get off the snap until, they're running by him.
Yeah.
And it's just horrible. But it's a lot of bad technique, and I do know.
Go ahead.
I do know that with Doyle, Tommy Doyle did start out as a right tackle.
Oh, did he? Gotcha. I did not know that.
Yeah, because in high school he was playing on the defensive line. They told him that he was too slow, so he moved to right tackle, and he played right tackle until his junior year. And 3rd game in, I think, of playing right tackle, they played Iowa, and he went up against AJ Epinesa and didn't allow a sack.
Gotcha. Well, maybe we will see Tommy Doyle at right tackle in this football game. I would almost prefer to see that, just to kind of see what happens. The Bobby Johnson stuff for me. So the conversation I was having with somebody on Twitter, they felt like we needed to let the guy go, just because of Cody Ford and some other things. And it's like, well, as much as you want to say that, he's also responsible for Spencer Brown, and he's responsible for Ike Butker, and he's responsible for Deion Dawkins. He's responsible for some of these guys that we have that are actually playing well. So as much as one guy, Cody, so there's a balance there. At some point, you have to put it on the player, right? At some point, the player is potentially the issue or potentially the problem. By the way, it's great to have Buff Hub in the room. Buff Hub, contributor for Buffalo Rumblings, fellow contributor for Buffalo Rumblings, as myself. But what do you got for Josh Allen's stat line in this football game?
I'm figuring he's going to be right around 325 to 350, about like I'm expecting to be a game about like the playoff game where he's going to be at least 300 yards, but I'm figuring a little bit over 300.
A little over 300. Yeah. Touchdowns. What do you got for touchdowns?
I'm hoping he's going to throw for 2 and run for 1.
Yeah, it seems to be the hot number. I'm almost done doing predictions, not prediction shows, but predictions, because it just seems like somebody asked me tonight. We were at a going away party for a friend who was moving to LA, and somebody asked me, "So, how do you think the Bills are going to play tomorrow?" I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what to expect. Like every time I think they're going to be good or whatever, they're not, and then they come out and they trounce the Jets. I'm like, I don't. This team is, I don't want to say Jekyll and Hyde, but it's a little bit out there. What do you got for final score for me?
I'm thinking it's going to be 29-20.
That's a close game. So you're kind of in that same boat of like one play could potentially call this game.
Yeah, and I'm figuring, Bass is going to have some field goals in there, and we're definitely not going to shut them out. I mean, even though our defense is great, I think that the offense is going to have the times where they're going to struggle, and probably second quarter, most of the second quarter.
Yeah.
If not the first quarter, and then pick it up in the second quarter. And, there's going to be a lull there where the defense is going to start to get tired, and lack of depth in the rotation with the defensive tackles. And it's going to be a dogfight.
Well, if you've got the Bills at 29, you've got him scoring or kicking 5 field goals, that's a lot of field goals. But yeah.
Well, I'm hoping they move the ball enough to where they choose to take points.
Yeah.
Because if you remember right, Frank chose to go for it instead of taking points and go for 2, and they lost by 7. That's 5 points right there.
Yep.
They're a field goal would have won the game instead of a Hail Mary.
Yep.
Which I'm glad, but
true story. As long as they knock it down like they did last year against the Colts. But if it comes down to that last final play. But I remember Spence and I were standing in the stands together, and when that ball went up, when Rivers let that ball go, both of us were screaming, knock it down. So as long as they knock any Hail Mary attempts down, I'm happy. No trying to catch those balls. Richard, I appreciate you as always. I hope you enjoy this football game tomorrow, and hopefully we come out with a little more confidence than we're going in with. But
I hope so.
Dude, as always, I'll see you after the game. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Talk to you soon, brother. That's my guy, Richard Rush. This offensive line is going to be interesting. I will say this. If Bass is good for 5 field goals, I hope you got him on your fantasy team. Next up in the room is Nautica Hears. Nautica, it's been a minute. Where you been?
Well, I've been around. I've been a little busy, but
actually, I haven't been here for 2 weeks, which was the correct answer was, Joe, you haven't been here for 2 weeks.
I've been here. You the one haven't been here.
Exactly. How are things?
Not bad.
No.
Funny thing is that little PJ kid lives in Barker. I live like 20 minutes from Barker.
Nice.
I was like,
I don't even know where Barker is. Where's Barker at?
In the middle of nowhere. I couldn't play.
That helped. There's a lot of it in the middle. So I grew up in Cattaraugus County, so there's a lot of middle of nowhere. So which county is it in?
It's in Niagara County.
Okay, so you're up north. Gotcha. So you're north of the city.
Yeah.
Barker. I lived in Niagara Falls for a while too. How do I not know where Barker is? That's crazy.
No one really knows where Barker is unless you live around.
Dude, he was on point. He had good stuff.
A lot of good points.
He was right on point. He's like talking about how the Bills need to move the pocket. It's like, yes, brother. Hi, Bill. Somebody call Brandon B to put this guy in the payroll.
Hey, get him in the lineup. Get him in the staff room.
So awesome. How you feeling about this football game?
I'm a little nervous. I mean, I was nervous last week and it was fine, but
yeah.
It's just that the Colts are a better team than the Jets. You can all agree with that. Like, I don't know. They played us hard in the playoff game, and they're probably gonna play us hard again because revenge or whatever. But
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I want to have confidence. I want to go in right. I figured at this point in time the Bills would be rolling. Like we would be. I don't even know what.
I mean, maybe the Jets game was the ball starter. To get us rolling again, but
and that kind of sort of happened. I mean, it was the Jets that kind of started it out. It was the no punt game, and then they started the offense came to life. I mean, the offense was fine in that game. They just didn't score a touchdown, but then it was like they kind of rolled after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the hope. So prediction, hot take. What do you got for me?
I think the game could come down to Josh Allen fourth quarter drive.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing they haven't done this year. They've got 3 losses by less than 7 points or less, and they have not executed a fourth quarter comeback.
Yeah. Well, I hope it happens this game. That's my prediction. But I think that Carson Wentz has one of his boneheaded turnovers near the end, because he has some weird turnovers. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he definitely has some "what are you doing" moments. That's for sure. That would be huge if that happens. A turnover differential might make a big difference in this football game for sure. Josh Allen stat line.
I think it's going to be a little over 300, not by like much, but I'm going to go with everybody else. Kind of 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 2 throwing touchdowns, 1 rushing.
Yeah. That's I have him on all 3 of my fantasy teams, so I would love 2 throwing touchdowns and 1 rushing. So that would be great. And then what do you got for a game prediction score, final score?
27-20 Bills.
27-20. Everybody's close. Nobody's in the 40s. The night's not over yet, but everybody seems to have come down to earth on some of these predictions.
I just think we're too close, like personnel wise, to have a scoring. Like our defense is too good, and then their defense is too good, and offense is too similar to have like a blowout kind of back and forth.
I think you're potentially right. I think the Bills have it in them. Like I think the Bills have it in them to really kind of push it. The problem is they also have the ability to lay an egg like they did against the Jaguars, which that's always going to hang in the back of our minds, is that stupid Jaguars game. Which luckily I was in Mexico, so it was easy to forget about it really quick. It was like
a rough Monday.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't a rough Monday for me at all. I was in the pool, the margarita. I was like, it is what it is. So the Bills lost. Who cares? So, but it's just kind of that doesn't happen often for me. Normally, it's a painful Monday. But Nautica, you are welcome here anytime, and I love seeing you on all the other shows too. I know that you make it around to not only the Rumbling shows, but some of the Fanatic shows and the Cover One shows that I see you out and about. So. Appreciate you being in the comment section and just being a part of the show, but you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Awesome. Well, you enjoy this game tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Talk to you soon. It was Nautica here. She's great. Got a lot of just great people that live and kind of hang out in the comment section, and she's one of them. She's a mainstay, and she's super, super fantastic. But next, I was speaking of fellow content creators. What's up, Mr. Vega?
What's going on, brother, man?
How you feeling tonight?
Oh, dude, feeling great. I just had a 7-year Anejo, just amazing cigar celebrating my adopted new niece.
Nice.
So super, super excited. Had to do like an emergency trip out of Vegas. So I flew east to Florida, I guess southeast you'd call it. And so I've just been having a great time with my family. Went to Disney, went to SeaWorld, went around the world at Epcot. If you ever done that, went around the world a little too much. So I'll stop there. But so recovering from that with a nice cigar tonight. And then I saw, hey, you guys are live, so I got to join you. I missed you, man. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. I mean, it's I just got back from Mexico, so we my wife and I took. I don't know if you were on from the top of the show, but my wife and I went to Puerto Vallarta. My family loves Mexico, so like we've been to. This was our 8th trip. The first 7 times with my girls. My girls are 12 and 14, or 11 and 14, about to be 12 and 15. And so our family loves Mexico just in general. We love the culture, we love the food, we love everything about it. Obviously the sun, the beach, the water. We've been to Cabo several times, we've been to Cancun, we've been to Riviera Maya. So Puerto Vallarta though it's neat because much like the States, all the different coastal regions kind of have their own vibe and their own feel, which is really, really kind of cool. So this resort in particular, like there was a lot of local cuisine, like literally right across the street was a place where all the locals go. So we were able to go across the street from the resort and just get super like crazy good Mexican food, like authentic Mexican food. And we were surrounded by, locals who were there with their families having food. And it was just we love Mexico. So, and I did not get sunburnt even though everybody's always like, put some sunblock on. It's like,
I was about to ask. So my wife, she's notorious for getting sunburnt. So we're always packing the SPF 50 anywhere we go.
Oh yeah. I've got it in my truck just in case somebody calls me to go golfing. Yes, I have it in my truck, but no, I mean, I've been living with this skin for 48 years. I know how to not get burnt. I'm lucky enough to not go from like white to pink to white. Like I'm not one of those Irish people that I'm talking about, right? Where it's like vampire white to this color back to vampire white. Like I actually do kind of tan up a little bit, and it gets to the point where after in the summer, if I'm golfing a lot, 4, 5, 6 times, I don't even have to put sunblock anymore. Like I'm usually good. My skin gets used to it, which is rare for gingers. But ginger,
I saw a little bit of the bronze god on you the other day when I saw you come back. Come on, I seen it.
Definitely not. My little brother's a redhead, and he does tan. I have a little brother that's redhead and like literally bronze tans, and I hate him. I can't, like, he's my least favorite human on the planet. But Florida, that Florida sun will get you probably just about as fast as that Vegas sun will. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good to see you, dude. So how are you feeling this game is going to go? What do you have as far as a prediction or some sort of a hot take, if I dare say so?
Well, okay, so obviously a lot is going to run down on this offensive line. Everyone has a headache with it. What do you expect? It's inconsistent. But one thing that has been consistent that I have noticed that I've had to swallow the pill on, it's that our head coach, Sean McDermott, is a monster. He's monsterly good at being able to adjust.
Yeah.
Thankfully, like the first loss that happened against, early in the season, how are we going to respond to that? We responded, right? Being able to just knock out a bunch of teams. Then you go to the Titans game. How are we going to respond? Yeah. Okay. Skip that. But the reality of the situation is that I have really seen that he has been able to adjust the game plan accordingly. Now, I feel like the offensive line is kind of like a new hurdle, if you will, for Sean McDermott. I don't think this was a huge issue in the last 2 years. I feel like this has become a really big issue now because defenses got better. Teams that you wouldn't expect are starting to get good. And you got to give credit where it's due to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is one of those teams that have always had key pieces. Shaquille Griffin, if you got a guy in the backfield, a guy in the middle linebacker, and you got a guy in the defensive line, if they start getting hot, you're going to cause any offense trouble.
Oh yeah.
And so I really saw that, and I had to take a step back after my rant after that game and really understand that what's going to happen in this game is completely different. The Bills are literally looking at this next 4-game stretch. If people are literally thinking that the Bills aren't looking at this next 4-game stretch as a possible, rehearsal for a Super Bowl, if you will, they're definitely thinking this. I mean, you got primetime games back to back. And as far as I know, that Carolina Panthers game, it's still to be decided on what time that's going to show up. So these guys are strapped and ready. And I think this is a game that's going to they're going to show up and show out. Again, what's going to happen at the offensive line? Well, I think that's going to be a Josh Allen. It's going to be a Josh Allen thing. What can we see come out of him with adversity? More importantly, here's the other thing I wanted to point out. A big factor going into this game is at 2 p.m. Mark it. Put an alarm on it. It's going to start raining, and I guarantee you, Mr. Carson Wentz and all the injuries that have shown up throughout the years, they're going to start tweaking and bothering him in this game. I really think he's not going to play well in the rain and the blistery, Buffalo weather. I think we're primed for this game. They're used to playing indoors, and they're going to rely heavily on that run game. And if you think the Bills aren't going to be ready to attack the run game, I think you got another thing coming to you. I feel like they've played these guys. They played them really hard, obviously, in the playoffs. I think they're going to have a really good game plan on stopping him. The question is, what if Carson Wentz gets hot? Well, that's why I have this idea in my head. I just don't see him unless they go up 3 touchdowns on the Bills, like 21-3, at halftime. I don't really see him, showing up and showing out. I really see like the Bills. I see them over probably about 2 touchdowns in this game at 28-14.
2014. They're definitely going to do the best they can to make the Colts one-dimensional. They're going to wholly sell out to Jonathan Taylor. And I said this at the top of the show again. I don't know if you were here from the very beginning, and if you weren't, that's fine. My question to Fina, I can't remember if it was Fina or Spence, is are the Bills going to remain in that 4-2 nickel that they play all the time? Are they going to go to a traditional 4-3? Are they going to bring in Klein? So if Edmonds can play, are they going to go to a traditional 4-3 to basically stack that box and put their corners and the safeties on islands? It'll be interesting to just to see how that chess match goes. It's fun. This whole football game is going to come down to the trenches. It's going to come down to Starla Tulele being out. It's going to come down to Spencer Brown being out. What the Bills are going to do, how they're going to pivot. That Colts offensive line is good. That Colts defensive line is good. Their secondary is not good, not great. I should say they're not great. Their quarterback is not great. He's not bad. I will say this, it was Carson Wentz who beat the Bills with the Eagles in the hurricane here in Buffalo in the rain and the 55 mile an hour wind. So he's not adverse to playing necessarily in bad weather, but If you think the barometer is going to mess with his knees and his ankles and his shoulder, then maybe.
I get the feeling with him. Here's what I think: the defensive attack. I feel like they're gonna line up. They're gonna put probably about 6 to 7 guys at the line of scrimmage multiple times throughout that game. I'm seeing that with one high safety, and they're gonna test the man-to-man coverage because you look at the statistics from when he played Tennessee. When Tennessee played press man-to-man with one high safety, I think his passer rating was extremely low. They're gonna try to test him. I don't feel that the Bills would have success in a 4-3 base, 3 linebackers behind 4 line to attack them. It's going to be too easy for Carson Wentz to be able to dissect.
I don't know.
You
think? I don't know. I think they're going to put those guys on an island. I think we'll see.
I would believe that our corners are going to, I think they're going to match up really well against man-to-man against Michael Pittman and T.Y. Hilton. And, being able to stack the line with 6 to 7 guys and then pull back into coverage. So you're basically helping out with the run, but you're also able to get pressure on Carson Wentz to get rid of the ball early. Do we see Carson Wentz start throwing up one-on-one, and then we see some chances to Tre'Davious White, whether that's on T.Y. Hilton or you see Levi Wallace, matched up on Michael Pittman? It would be interesting to see. This is a huge test. Yeah. But I just, you think about it. You've seen it with multiple teams that are really good in this league. They keep looking over teams, and that's why they keep dropping down to the power rankings. And because they're looking at the rest of the schedule, I feel like the Bills have been doing that way too much this year, especially with the back-to-back season where you're getting 4 primetime games. I mean, or more. Yeah. So you're looking at this season and going into it. I mean, I have a feeling, a lot of them had this marked down on their calendar. I mean, if I'm a player that's looking to, get re-signed, you're marking that down as I need to show up in these games because every team's going to be looking at me. Yeah. It's just funny the way that works. You wish they would have played better in Jacksonville, but golly, I'm happy that's behind us.
Do me a favor. I got one more guy in the queue, and I got to get out of here because the chop up's coming up right after me. So tell everybody where they can find you, bro. Tell them what you do. Tell them how to find you. Tell them where they can listen to your show.
Absolutely. I am Buff Hub, a Buffalo Rumblings podcast. You can find me every Friday, whether if it's in the morning or in the evening. I am there for your afternoon and morning delight. And my name's Steve Vega. I like to bring in pretty much
afternoon delight. You can't drop afternoon delight on the show and then just breeze past it.
Oh God, don't make me sing it. One of my favorite movies ever too. So it's been a fun time being a contributor, Buffalo Rumblings. I'm gonna get you back on, Jay Spence back on.
Yeah, dude.
Next the second Patriots game, I'm gonna have Carlos William on. I'm gonna have Sal Capaccio pretty soon. Nice. It's gonna be a fun lineup coming up through the rest of the season, coming up on the show. So I'm really proud and really happy about it.
Check out his stuff. He does a very, very good job. And anytime you want me on the show, I'm there, bro. So you enjoy this football game tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Later, bro. So yeah, we got one more guy up in the queue. That's David Reed, my guy, David Reed. What's up, fella? How you feeling?
What's up? Welcome back, Joe.
Oh, it's good to be home, but I'd rather be in Mexico.
Oh, I hear you.
I tell you what, Buffalo, Mr. Vega talked about his rant at the end, like after that Jaguars game. I'll be honest with you. It was a good thing I didn't have a show that night because I probably would have been fired. Like, I can't imagine what my show would have been had I been home and the Bills laid that egg against the Jaguars. And then I had to do the overreaction show on Sunday night. I'd have been dropping. It just wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been.
No, you're lucky you were at where you were, man. I was in such a mood for probably 3 days after that. It took like 3 days to calm down after watching that.
And then we play the Jets. We blow them out like we want to do with every AFC East team, and we're looking at the Colts. So we've got a couple minutes before the chop up with Jay Spence the King and and Kristen Kimmick and Angelina and my guy Sturls. How's this game? How are you feeling about this football game? This game coming up tomorrow.
I'll be honest. I was nervous up until yesterday. So I was at the stadium yesterday. Got to meet a couple players. I'll tell you what. They are confident. Very confident. I talked to you about a month ago.
Yeah.
Picture viral, my little kid in the wheelchair.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So anyway, I've had NFL Network following me around with a camera crew for the last 3 days.
Yep. I saw your pictures, by the way. I saw your pictures on Twitter. Yep.
Crazy. So my boys got to go up there and meet some players. It's going to be on Thanksgiving Day. It's going to air a little special on them. That's awesome. But tell you what, that they are confident.
Good.
I don't know if things changed after that Jags game. Maybe a little fire under their ass or something, but
You hope it did. We hope it did. I want to see them.
Right.
It's going to go a long way for me to see them come out and see them like literally lay one on the Colts. But we got to hurry. I don't mean to rush you, Dave. So I'll give you a little extra. Come in next week. I'll give you a little extra time. I just don't want to. I don't want to push Jay Spence because he's going to try to go live right at 9. I'm sure. But so what do you got for a quick game prediction in this game? What are you watching for?
31-10. Watch for a wide receiver to throw a touchdown pass.
Oh, so you had a little razzle dazzle going in this football game.
You didn't hear that from me.
But let's can it not be to Josh Allen? Because every time Josh Allen has got a touchdown, the Bills
it's gonna be a receiver you wouldn't think was gonna throw a pass.
Really? So we're talking like Gabe Davis.
You gotta have to watch.
Oh, that is some hot inside information. I hope there's
I got a little hot inside information on a play that they were working on, and that's all I'm gonna say.
That's freaking fantastic. Well, dude, you're definitely going to have to come back. So you're going to have to come back, especially if that does happen tomorrow. We're gonna have to have you come back next week, and then you and I will break down the play and just kind of what you saw versus.
Yeah, I was actually looking for a in-game bet on that, and they didn't have one. So
Gotcha. That's funny.
What are you gonna do?
That's funny. What about a Josh Allen stat line?
It's good, man. This, like you said, this is gonna be a tough game. I'm gonna say 270. I don't think he's going to reach. Yeah, I don't think he's going to reach 3.
Gotcha.
It'll probably be more of a close game, maybe like a 27-24.
Gotcha. Hey, as long as they come out with the dub, that's all I
really care about.
Dave, I'm looking forward to the special on Thanksgiving. I'm glad that you and your family got blessed and got to be around the players to meet them all. That's really, really cool. What an awesome blessing for you and your family.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope you enjoy this football game tomorrow. Go Bills.
Yep, go Bills.
Go Bills. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Bills Mafia Time to Shine with your host, Joe Miller. That's me. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. No Saxa Dave tonight. I kind of miss having Saxa Dave, so I'll have to hit him up on Twitter, make sure everything's okay. But stick around for the chop up with my guy, Jay Spence the King, Kristen Kimmick, Angelina, and Sturls for the girls from the Cover One Network. But I hope you guys enjoy this football game tomorrow. I hope that everything that we hope to be the Buffalo Bills comes true. And for you, for me, I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow night live, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Overreaction post-game show, where I will be breaking down for all of you how I felt from the couch as this game kind of unfolded. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Go Bills.